Hello, everybody. This is Soli Speaks coming to you with another interview. We're talking. I'm talking with two other women that share the same views. We are all Trump supporters. We have three walkaway videos that I want you guys to check out. And we're going to go from there. These women are beautiful. They're all Muslim, or they are in a Muslim, or they're in a relationship with a Muslim person. It is a fun conversation that we're having. We're talking about why we decided that we walked away from the Democratic Party and how we were, how our, what was it? What's the saying called when when the wolves pulled over your face? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So, so come on and let's listen to what we had to say. It is very interesting. One of the ladies she is originally from Singapore. We have a person that is from United States, and of course, I'm from United States, born and raised. All right, this is Soli Speaks. Let's talk. Okay.
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 All right. Hey, my name is Dakkar Abdul-hadi. I'm 33 years old. I am, I guess, Black American. I am married. I went to Penn State. I didn't quite finish. I had like a year or so left, but you know, life happens. I'm sorry. I own my own school. I have an online school. We offer different services. It's an educational resource program, and I'm also a content creator. I have a podcast and a YouTube called Soli Speaks. Yeah, that's what it's called. Soli Speaks. So I'm just going to quickly talk about my walkaway story. 2020 was a big year for me because of the fact that Corona happened, and I felt that the government touched every part of our. It was an increased sense of division in our country, especially involving Black and brown people. And our house is a mixed race house. I have a white husband, and I just felt that everything was starting to divide, you know, and I didn't want that to be a part of our lives. A 12-year-old son, he was always Republican. He always had political ideas, and he just like kind of, you know, because I was like really afraid because I thought like my two sons were going to be arrested we walked outside and we were going to be affected by, police brutality. And all in all, it wasn't as serious as people were making it seem. Also, I, assumed that Trump didn't like Muslims because of what the media was portraying. And I just kind of decided to do my own research. And I realized that Trump didn't have that negative view of Muslims or of Black people. He was very helpful to both parties. And I just decided to become a Republican conservative. And I made the switch and I walked away and I voted 2020. But y'all know what they did. And our votes didn't mean anything. Prior to my walkaway story, I was a Democrat because I thought I had to be. I voted 2008 for Obama, but that wasn't like something that was beneficial. 2016, I didn't really vote because my vote didn't count the first time with Obama. So why push it for the next time? So that's kind of what happened. And it impacted me because, you know, we took our time and he promised us hope. He had all of this, he made African Americans believe that they were going to be number one, but then took advantage of our trust and then turned around and did nothing. But like he had other communities in mind rather than our own. I am Muslim and I identify as a Muslim. I might be considered Salafi. I do wear niqab. I wear my hijab every day when I go outside. In the house I don't, but I'm just Muslim. I was born and raised Muslim. My father and mother converted to Islam and were married for years. So I am second generation Muslim and my kids are third generation Muslim. I'm very much trying to practice. No one is perfect, but I am trying my best to practice and be the best Muslim I can be. And I feel like the way I feel about Trump in my religion, I think he's just about his money. Like, I think he just wants to make sure that Americans are about America. You know, he's trying to bring things home, less foreign influence. He is trying to do a few things overall that are for the best of America, making America great again. And that's it. I don't think he worries about color as much as people makes him out to be. He really is just about the green dollar, and that's it.
Okay.
All right, I think that was it.
All right. Thanks, Dakkar. Okay, so I will go
Did
next.
I do okay?
Yeah, you were fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, we will just, I think there's some connection issues, so we will try to work that out, and then we'll just cut out. I'll just cut out the like right now the in between where we're blabbing. So that's. But you were fine. I think it's brief, and it will come up to less than half an hour for all of us, inshallah. Okay, so I'll just go right now. Hi, everybody. I am Salma, and I'm 43 years old. I'm Singaporean, but I'm married to an American Muslim. He is from Denver, Colorado, and hence my interest in American politics. I was educated in Singapore. I worked in engineering for a number of years until I got married in 2006. And at present, I am the founder of Movement Menu, a yoga functional movement. I'm a yoga functional movement teacher, I guess. And it just started, so I'm still working through my business. So that's that about myself. And let me see what's next. About the walk away. Okay, my walk away story. Okay, before we walked away, my husband has always been a registered Democrat. And I personally never really delved deeply into politics. It's always been superficial, so you just have the caricatures, right? The Republicans are just, really dense and not very bright. You have that perception, and that the Democrats are really, about their education and being sophisticated in the world and worldly, and you have that impression. But in 2016, during the election, basically we felt that, what's the point? What's the point of vote? Why would anyone vote? There's Hillary. That's the alternative you have, to Trump, because obviously we had everything that the media tried to portray about Trump for us, And personally, for me, all I knew about Trump was him as the, reality TV guy. And I was never impressed with that reality TV guy that Trump was. But I have a brother who has always been a fan of Trump. So I've always had input from my brother about Trump, like how he thought that he had integrity and how he thought that he was all about his money, and, he had ethics, business ethics and all that. This was him during his reality TV showtime, okay? But obviously me, I was all about he's got that silly toupee, he's, obviously that's not a toupee, he clarified that for me. So, it was very superficial. And then COVID happened, right? And then one evening, because it's evening when he does the press conferences in the US, we happened to sit down, me and my husband, and actually watch his press conferences. So we watched his press conference, and then we realized, okay, so this is a very reasonable person that's speaking to the press. And I have never seen the mob that the press is, with any other president. I mean, Bush was rather, people made fun of him. But even then, the reporters were respectful because he is still a man in the highest office, of the country, right? So you have to give him due respect, but they were just absolutely rude, every time he comes to the press conference, it's like he's waiting to get attacked, because the same people are there, and the same people are there with the same kind of questions. And it's as if I mean, to put it mildly, it just seems like they were never raised right by their mamas or something, you know, like so rude, you know. Why can't you just have some manners in the way you speak to the president, you know? That's one. And then the next thing is the way he conducts himself at the press conferences. Very reasonable. And then we realized, okay, so we've been fed with edited, manipulated video clips of Trump, right, by the mainstream media in trying to convey or in trying to portray him as this racist, ignorant, stupid, you know, person. So we realized, like, okay, this is really, really bad, and we started to scrutinize further into the media, and we just decided, you know, everything is just out of hand. And then, of course, things escalated, right, with the BLM movement and the protests and everything else that we do not, you know, subscribe to at all, you know. And so basically that was it for us. You know, we realized that more than anything, Trump was really anti-establishment than he is, you know, classic Republican in that sense. You know, he was really, we feel that right now, even the Republicans, like both parties are against him, you know, as you can see from the results of the election. But anyway, that's that. And then how did that impact me? Basically, this is the impact. You know, it has changed the way we view news. You know, obviously we had like, okay, news is always biased and so on, right? But with Trump, it's really on an extreme level. That's what we feel. And that's it for my walkaway story. And what else? What's next? Let me see. Okay, I was born Muslim. I was raised Muslim. And my parents are immigrants from South India into Singapore. But I was born and raised. I don't really connect very well with my family, extended family in India. And I met my husband online. So, and then we married, and we have 3 kids and 3 girls, 5-year-old twins and a 3-year-old toddler. My twins are 5 years old. What else? Let's see. Sorry, I came up with the questions and I forgot what I have to say. Oh dear me.
I don't think you should edit it. I think you should just let it flow.
Okay. I blame mom brain. I have mommy brain.
Okay, well, what do I think about Trump? I mean, again, after scrutinizing the news, right, and you realize that, okay, the whole narrative about Trump hating Muslims, okay, there have been things that's been said. There have been, okay, the Muslim ban, that's a separate commentary altogether. I mean, Jen has her in-laws she's just had her in-laws in the United States. Please, okay? So there's more to it than just headlines, you know. And I feel that, like Dakkar said, he's all about the money, okay? He's a shrewd businessman, and he has a lot of property in Turkey, which is a Muslim country. He pays one of the highest taxes, okay, in Turkey. Because when they had the thing about, oh, he just pays pennies in taxes in the United States, right? And then we started to look up the news, and it turns out he has a big, there's a Trump Towers in Istanbul, okay, and vast amounts of property for which he pays taxes for. And he has very good relations with the Muslim head of Turkey. So, I mean, where's the Muslim hate here? You know, I fail to accept the narrative that's being pushed to me. If there's anything at all, I feel very, very attacked by the Democrats and the way they push down a version of Islam towards me. Like, I find that very intrusive and very offensive. And
like they're trying to teach you how to be Muslim.
Yes, exactly. So that's just like, whoa, you know. I'm sorry, Ilhan Omar is not representative of me at all. You know, I just have to say that. Okay.
Listen, we the new squad.
And I hope the voter fraud, if it's proven, she gets kicked out. You know, I really hope that happens. I'm disappointed that she's, back in Minnesota. But anyway, I'm done. So over to you.
My turn, huh? Okay. My name is Jennifer Hancock. I am 36 years old. And with my nationality, I would have to say that I was born and raised in a very rural town of Kingfisher County, Oklahoma, small town in Dover. That's where my family originated from, very farming community. I'm married. And my educational background, I have a bachelor's in business administrative in the international trade. And right now, my current employment status, I'm a stay-at-home mom. But before I was a stay-at-home mom, I was in the military for 12 years. Oh. And I also served as a DoD employee for a few years for the Department of the Air Force. So I did serve some time overseas as an active duty member through Operation Enduring Freedom. And I guess my walk away story is more like a walk with, but with my husband, it's a walk away with him too. So I've always been kind of a walk with, but the thing that really just always deep rooted, just bothered me so bad was when I was deployed back in 2012 during the time, you know, when Benghazi was going on, and the whole mainstream media, and of course, where I was deployed at the AOR, you know, it was a very strange time how we were on the lockdown. I can't really describe, you know, where I was at exactly because, you know, that's obviously classified. But, you know, most of us were wondering, you know, when we were there, that we were told that it had to do with the Prophet Muhammad cartoon on YouTube. And that's the reason why, you know, Benghazi was attacked. And, you know, all of us were at the base and we were just kind of, you know, sort of talking like, you know, never seen the cartoon or anything strange, but it's like, you know, how come they couldn't just really, you know, call Aviano Air Base in Italy for help? And so, you know, during that time, it was, you know, Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of Defense. And I realized, you know, something was really strange and, you know, just it was sort of an anomaly what was going on because, you know, what we were being told and then what was being said on mainstream media just made me feel very froggy ever since then. But however, you know, relating to back my husband, I'm actually in an interfaith marriage of my husband of the Islamic faith. I mean, being a practicing Christian myself, I get, you know, questions all the time, like, you know, how does our marriage work? Well, we have, believe it or not, I mean, even, you know, I come from an interfaith family, you know, containing Christians, Jewish and Muslims, you know, we all pray to the same God. And, you know, the thing that, you know, it used to bother me the most is like how mainstream media, they act like your best friend, but, you know, then they, you know, talk badly behind you, you know, in a way how they just demonize Islam all the time. So I never really understood, you know, why my husband, you know, was, you know, on the, you know, not that he was completely on the Democratic side or anything, but he, you know, he didn't understand the Republican side too much on that fact. But with all that's been going on with mainstream media, the lies and how, you know, of course, you know, how they just portray people of Islam, you know, and it's going completely against, you know, what their principles were. And I would always, you know, ask my husband, I mean, we're so open with each other, you know, in our relationship and stuff. I mean, you know, we've raised our kids, you know, Muslims, and, you know, and I think what really sealed the deal for him was when, you know, Trump got involved with Egypt because Ethiopia was wanting to build a dam, which, you know, if they built the dam, it would have cut off the water supply in Egypt. So therefore, you know, Egypt, from what I understood from my husband, is they're very dependent on their own economy. Like they never really, you know, import food like in other countries. They're totally independent of their own, which is, you know, another thing that my husband admired about Trump is that he wants to make us America first and make us independent, where we don't rely completely on imports. We just export out, you know, and create jobs for Americans and everybody. And so, you know, just before the election and stuff, like my husband, he was very happy to overhear, like on the Egyptian media, that, you know, Trump would definitely support the idea of blowing up the Ethiopian dam. And then not only that, too, my family, all the way from Egypt and stuff, they've noticed a trend that, you know, the Muslim Brotherhood wasn't taking over in Egypt. There wasn't like as much terroristic activities. In fact, it's been very peaceful in the Middle East since the 4 years that he's been in.
Yes.
And, you know, that just makes us very happy, you know, over there, because I just don't just have family living in Egypt. They live all over the Middle East and they work, and, you know, it's kind of nice to feel that you can just, you know, go anywhere and just, you know, for them to just be able to go anywhere and, you know, nothing terroristic would happen. And so that's, there's like a long laundry list of reasons why, but that was one of the biggest 2 points that, you know, were kind of big on my husband's list. Why, you know, because honestly, even from the very beginning, even for me, you know, I thought, you know, coming from Oklahoma, you know, I think if I remember, if Ross Perot was like from Texas or something, I thought at the very beginning, it's like, okay, some millionaires just want to be a president, you know, want to, you know, it's like, you know, it was kind of a love-hate relationship I personally had with Trump too. But, you know, as the years went by, you know, he's literally a man of his words. I mean, if he says he's going to do it, man, he's gonna do it. Like a politician that actually lives up to his words. And that's one of the few things, you know, that my husband really admired about Trump. And that's why he's, you know, and of course, you know, he's been a little quiet about it because, you know, the majority of the Muslim community is very, you know, democratic, or that they're confused and there's not very many people like us speaking out. Yeah, the silent majority, you know, even though I'm Christian myself, but I'm still, you know, part of the Muslim community. You know, my kids, you know, they go to a private school, you know, for Muslims too. So, you know, and they're great, you know, it's awesome, you know, and it's just, I guess it's just the fear factor in the community too, of how you're looked at, you know, if you're a Trump supporter. And that's basically it. I mean, I can go on for hours. So.
I mean, like to add on to what you're saying about keeping his word, like when he was elected, my husband was, to give him credit, you know, he was like really observing, you know, okay, he says this. Does he go through with it? Like the TPP deal, you know, will he actually go through with it? And he did. Like every time we look at the news, right? Everything that he says, he would actually go through with it. And then we'll be stumped, you know, but we'll still make fun of his tweets and make fun of his person because, you know, that's what we did because we were not acquainted with who he really is, you know?
Yeah.
And then we, again, like I said, and he just got endearing. He can tweet whatever he wants. It's cute now. You know, I just think it's adorable now.
I think we all fell for the okie doke. Like I felt stupid. Like after I woke up and I became real woke, not fake woke. I'm like, all these years, like, is my 12-year-old son literally, I was trying to convince him that he needs to act differently because, like, I was trying to tell him that your life is going to be harder because you're Black. Like, yeah. Because that's what we were taught. We as Black women are taught to teach our sons that your life, you have to be this person because you're Black, your life is going to be harder. So I didn't realize I was mentally abusing my son because of the media's vision of what Black people are. Mm-hmm. I was trying to push this narrative of Black victimization on my kids And when I realized that I was telling my kids that you're going to fail because you're Black, I'm like, what the heck? But you have to understand, we are literally taught to tell our boys, you're not going to make it because you're Black. And people don't realize this is
that's
what it
heartbreaking.
is.
That's really heartbreaking. It's like you are taught to inflict harm on yourself mentally, you know? That's so evil, you know?
It is, but people do it every day and still do it. When I tell them to stop telling their boys that you're just because you're Black, you're not, your life is going to be harder. They're like, what are you talking about? Their life is going to be harder. And I'm like,
I say, look at Dr. Ben Carson.
They'll call him a sellout quick on the quickness.
He was poor.
They think he's a sellout, Uncle Tom, which is Uncle Tom. We all know he's a good guy. So it doesn't matter. Like, you have to understand, when people want to be a victim, they're going to be a victim until they don't want to anymore. So that's why I'm very much with, I've been called, a couple names because I speak out against the tyranny of what the Democratic Party is bringing to us. And I don't mind it because I was a part of it before and I did not realize it because I was like, the way that Black people are treated, we are the most privileged people in the United States. I know because, like, when they were having these, when the BLM was out and they were like yelling at the older white people, that could have been my mother-in-law. My husband is white. That could have easily been my mother-in-law. Somebody calling my sister-in-law Karen. No, yeah. Not knowing.
Wow, seriously?
Yes, not knowing that she's married to an Egyptian too. So, she's still like a stone cold liberal. Okay. I don't think it's hit her or it's hit him either. So it's very, very crazy.
Okay, I'm afraid I have to tell you that I have this pop-up on the Zoom screen that's telling me that I'm running out of time, that we have about 10 minutes, and it's not letting me shut it. So like we all our faces are like covered by that little box. So, I mean,
it's fine.
I mean, I don't know if you see it, but I have a box because I'm hosting, and for some reason I'm not able to control it. Oh, there we go. Okay, awesome.
Like a little.
Yeah, I mean, but it was covering me and Jen's face. It's going to show up on the video later. But anyway, it's been nice. This is fantastic. I'm glad we did this.